My sister was sent to boarding school, but never came back, and my parents refused to tell me why. Last summer, my sister Maya and I shared a room. She was always on her phone, listening to the same 3 Taylor Swift songs on repeat, and stealing my hoodies. Then one day in July, she wasn't there anymore. Mom said grandma took her to that fancy school upstate. When I asked which one, she just muttered Mountain View and changed the subject. I asked Maya's best friend if she'd heard anything. Nothing. Her Snapchat went dark. Her TikTok stopped posting. I started noticing other things. Dad cleaned out her side of our room, but left my mess alone. He never cleaned anything. Mom was taking sleeping pills every night. She hadn't done that since Dad lost his job 2 years ago. One night, I heard them fighting through the walls. Mom was crying. Dad kept saying we had no choice and stop bringing it up. I pressed my ear against the door. Mom said something about that withdrawal, and then the arguing stopped. I tried calling Maya's phone. Disconnected. I tried calling Mountain View Academy. They'd never heard of her. I asked to see her report cards. Mom said they came by email now. I asked what email. She started crying and locked herself in the bathroom. 3 months passed. Maya's birthday came and went. No card, no call, no explanation. I found her favorite stuffed elephant shoved in the back of the hallway closet. She slept with that thing every night for 12 years. Finally, I broke into Dad's office computer while he was at his weekend bowling league. I found emails from something called Clearwater Treatment Center, not a boarding school, a rehab facility for teens. The emails talked about aggressive intervention and involuntary commitment. They mentioned Maya had tried to leave twice. There were bills, thousands of dollars. Insurance wasn't covering it. I printed everything. That's when I found the real emails. Maya had been selling prescription pills at school. Our neighbor, Mrs. Chen, caught her and threatened to call the police unless our parents handled it. Mom begged Mrs. Chen for time. Dad had already called Clearwater. I waited until Dad was at work and confronted Mom. She broke down completely. Maya hadn't just been dealing pills, she was taking them too. Dad's leftover OxyContin from his surgery. She'd been stealing them for months. The morning they took her, Maya had overdosed in the bathroom. Not enough to kill her, but enough to scare them. Dad found her unconscious. Instead of calling 911, he called Clearwater. They picked her up that same day while I was at soccer camp. I was furious they'd lied, but I understood why. I called Maya at the facility. She was doing better. She was embarrassed, I knew. She made me promise not to tell anyone at school. 2 weeks later, Maya came home for a visit. She looked different, cleaner somehow, but tired. We hugged for the first time since we were kids. She told me she wanted to stay at Clearwater until she finished the program. I almost died in our bathroom, she said. And you were at soccer camp posting about winning regionals. She goes back tomorrow. She'll be home for Christmas. Mom's in therapy now too. Dad sold his tools to help pay for treatment. I still haven't told anyone at school, but I cleaned out my own medicine cabinet last week. I found 3 expired bottles of pain pills from when I broke my arm. I'd been keeping them just in case. I drove them to the pharmacy disposal box. On the way home, I called Clearwater and asked about visiting hours.